In reality, it probably hasn't been that long since I've made a video. In my head, it's been a very long time. And this is a video that I haven't really felt like making very much because it's weird to put all your business out there sometimes. So I'm not putting all my business out there. But here's why I'm gonna make this video. I've been feeling extremely stressed and overwhelmed, and my back is really hurting because I don't know what I did to it. I guess I'm just getting old. I just feel like there are a lot of you out there maybe, especially at this time of year, where it's just not going that smooth for you. You're just not feeling that great. You're just feeling like things are a drain. And I'm not just trying to commiserate with anyone, but you know, a lot of people watch these videos. And so I think maybe you are just feeling like not at your best, or you're feeling like crap, or you feel like, you know, you're the only one that feels this way. This video is me standing in solidarity with you, sharing a little bit of my crap, and then if you want, share your story in the comments section below and we can talk about that, or someone else can reach out to you or whatever. But like, I like being the positive, happy guy, but lately, you know, this is kind of what's going on. A few weeks ago, months ago, I don't know, I can't even remember when it started happening, but my back started hurting. My lower back on my left side, as if you needed that much detail in your life. So I started going to hot yoga. And hot yoga helps, but I can only get there 2 times a week, and it's only on Fridays and Sundays, so they're very close together because my schedule is in such a way that I can't do it any other way. And it's bothering me because I can't like wrestle with my kids, and I can't like do stuff that I normally do. So I went to the doctor finally, and I'm going to go get a massage on Monday. And so like I'm getting there, man. Like I'll figure that out. But it's like, you know, when you're just not feeling good, like physically, your mental space starts like deteriorating. That's how I work anyway. So then something I don't really talk much about, and I'm still not going to talk much about it, and I know I say stuff like that on here a lot, but my son, the boy, has an IEP at school, and we have really been struggling with like finding the right stuff for him. And you know, anyone that has kids that are in that world, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of like work on the outside, a lot of meetings that you have to have. We have an advocate that we work with, and that is like more time. And so that's another thing that can just kind of like, you know, you just feel like your fate isn't always in your own hands. You have to trust in other people, and that can become very, very difficult sometimes. And so that's a whole nother thing this time of year. On top of that, I live in the Northeast. You know, I live in New Jersey, and it's cold here, man. It's like 30 degrees out or worse every day. We've had like all these snow days, and which are fun in the beginning of the year, and then you just get tired of it. You don't really want to go outside, and your kids don't really want to go outside. It's a drag. And then my wife's been working a lot. She gets home very late. You know, it's hard to get babysitters, and just it's a thing. So I just haven't felt very creative. And I haven't felt like making videos, even though making videos is very life-giving. But I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to stuff. And what I'm looking forward to is the spring's coming. And in everything I've ever gone through, there's always like, there's a wave that you're kind of riding, and sometimes you're on top of that wave, and sometimes you're down low on that wave. But the beauty of waves is that it always goes back up, or at least flattens out, and then you're just kind of all the same. And that's not so bad, especially if you're paddle boarding or something like that. You don't ever just stay there. And so I think if I could think of something positive to say and tell all of you, is that like, it doesn't just stay there. It always keeps moving. You always go back up, and that can feel real like woo-woo or rah-rah or I don't know, any other kind of weird noise. It's the truth, right? Like it always shifts. My plan now is to create momentum. That's what I'm looking for. I think, one, it's important to acknowledge what you're going through, and if you're having a hard time, or you're depressed about something, or you're really sad, or you've been through something horrific, it's not to just brush it under the rug. It's to really sit with it, acknowledge it, feel that hurt, and let that shit just seep in a little bit. But then it becomes like, what am I gonna do with it? I know I'm not gonna stay there. I won't let myself stay there. It's just not, I just don't think that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So what am I gonna do to build momentum? I'm gonna go get a massage this week. Hopefully that massage loosens up my back, and I can get back to the gym, and I can get back to doing some of the things I like doing. I'm gonna keep going to hot yoga, even though I'm like one of the only dudes in there, and it's all young people, and I'm the old guy. That's right, I'm the old guy in the corner. It's hard. Hot yoga, who would have thought? And then, look, I look like Two-Face. It's like half light, half dark, like a yin and yang. I started like doing some stuff to my room yesterday. We got out of school early because there was no heat, and so they canceled school at like 10:30 in the morning, and I just stayed all day and like worked on my room, and I did some cool stuff to it. And then I'm gonna plan some stuff, because otherwise, you know, it's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna make plans to go out with some people and to do some stuff and to be some places and to see some things. And then in my experience, what happens is momentum begets momentum, right? Like if you're just sitting on a bike and you're not pedaling, and you're not going anywhere. And if you pedal a little bit, it can be hard in the beginning when you're pedaling, especially if you feel like you're going uphill. But eventually you build momentum, it speeds up, and then you just feel better and you think, hey, I don't even remember feeling like crap. So that's my plan. Sorry that was a lot of minutes of me lamenting, but I just want you to know, anyone out there that's watching this, that right now feels like crap, and you're in school and it's not going well, and your kids are being jerks, or the teacher's not being fair, or it's just not what you thought it was going to be. Look, man, I'm a YouTube guy and I make videos where I smile a lot. I did make that video in October where I was really miserable, but I'm just trying to keep it real with you and let you know that you're not the only one out there that's going through stuff right now. So hang in there, and if you need me, just hit me up and I'll try and help you as best I can. That being said, here's what's going on in my classroom. We finished the book Night this week. My co-teacher did something to his leg where his kneecap was in the wrong part of his leg and he got hurt playing basketball, so he was out. While he was out, we finished the book Night and we took a test on it. I was gonna do a project with it also, but I decided not to do a project because it was just taking too stinking long to read the book. So I like to have books last about 5 weeks, and once they go past 5 weeks, it just feels like the kids lose interest, I'm losing interest, and it feels like it's this thing you have to get done, and instead of this thing that's like, oh man, we finished it. This is a little bit too high, I gotta sit down. I have this terrible chair in my room, we call it the hair chair, because here it is, and it looks like it's filled with actual human hair, which is disgusting. But the kids usually go, what is that? And then they sit on it anyway. At the end of it, we did our usual review, which is like a quizzo, where I have 4 or 5 rounds, where I ask questions that will be on the multiple choice or on the short answer part of the test. I ask those questions, and we write the answers on the board as we go, and the kids can win extra points on the test. Then we gave them the essay topic up front that was going to be on the test, and that was to use all the notes that they had used in their book while they were annotating their books as we were reading to come up with an essay. They were allowed to outline the essay first, and then they were allowed to use that paper on the test. And the idea here was that we weren't going to just like trick kids into finding the right answer. They still had to go through the book, they still had to find the information, they still had to use all the work they'd been doing for the last few weeks to create this essay. Felt like you were actually preparing kids for something, and it didn't feel so much like you were letting them get away with something, but that you were really just giving them the tools to do a better job. Freshmen finished Of Mice and Men, and it was really good. You don't always get to read a book where the kids feel something at the end, but it was that scene at the end of Mice and Men, it got real quiet in the classroom. Kids were reading with feeling, and when it was over, you could feel like the energy in the room was like, it was dark, and which is awesome, because at the end we got to have this really great conversation about the fact that, reading is just blips of ink on a page and someone's reading them. The fact that it can make you feel something is just kind of amazing. So we finished that. Then we watched the movie to give the kids that might not have picked up on every single thing that was in the book a chance to like understand what happened. And then that test will happen sometime next week. And then this week we're finally going to Eastern State Penitentiary. That got postponed because it had snowed on the day that we were supposed to go. Then I only have like a little bit more than a week before I go to Belize. I'm taking students to Belize for 7 days or something like that. So I have this kind of like weird week before I go, and then we go on spring break. So I think we are either going to do like a poetry unit or a short story unit, because I don't want to start anything new before I go on break, because that's just messy. Like then you come back and no one remembers it. I mean, teachers, like after a 3-day weekend, your students forget their locker combination. There's no chance they're going to remember the exposition of Lord of the Flies, Lord of Dance, I don't know, whatever we're reading. So I'd rather just come back, start something fresh and new, and then take it from there. And I think that's it. Listen, I'm speaking at St. Joe's this next weekend, 24th, something like that. St. Joe's University in Philadelphia. If you're around, you should try and sneak into that situation. Bring your friends. I'm going to be giving a talk about the importance of building relationships in the classroom. Then I'm going to be on podcast this week and some other stuff. There's a lot sort of coming up that I'm excited about. So gang, if you're feeling good, spread that love. Give somebody a hug, do something nice for someone, because you really just don't know the struggles that people are going through sometimes. And if you're struggling, reach out to someone. Leave a comment below, shoot me an email, because really helping people helps you sometimes. I'm glad to be back. Glad I made this video. I'm looking forward to what's coming up next, gang. Peace.